here's what sucks about being a working man.
Okay. Well,
And I say that like
let's unfurl the list.
Royden and I are about to go out and like retar the street.
Yeah, exactly. Real hard jobs that we have here.
Yeah, we're gonna go redo the asphalt there on 9th Street.
Mm-hmm. I have a roof to pave after that.
Yeah,
Pave.
roof to pave. Exactly. See, there we go.
Yep. These
I-
hands have seen some tools.
I once went into a hardware store to buy
How was that?
drill bits and forgot the name drill bits.
Oh.
And I was like, I have a drill. I need the like.
I need to think that goes.
The judgment.
Yeah.
The guy, and I was standing right near it, and he was like, the drill bits?
Yeah.
And honestly, my response, because of his attitude, was like, F you, Carl.
Yeah. You know how many times that I will just
I have a DeWalt drill. Take me to the DeWalt bits. I forgot the word for a second. Don't tell me you, Mr. 50-year-old man, hasn't forgotten the words. But I think it was the...
Yeah, I mean, I'll do you one better. This isn't just like, this has nothing to do with hardware. Although I will go to a hardware store and like, if I don't know what I need, I just won't ask for help.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll find out or I'll leave.
Yeah.
And do a quick Google. One time I was sitting at the pin pad for the ATM and I just forgot my pin number. I felt like I felt like I had forgotten who I was. And I just I had an out of body experience where people were like starting to stack up and you start sweating. And I was just like,
do you know my pin?
yeah, I was like, hey, are you my mother? And I was just, oh no. And so I left and then I had to go get a new pin in the bank. And they were like, what was your old pin? I was like, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And they looked at me like I was crazy, which in fact, I thought I had gone a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Hated that.
So why is Gamora? Why is the
Gamora?
Big 12? It's not looking great for this conference to have a team that wins a game in the playoff right now, to me. Mm-hmm. But it is looking great for the enjoyment of, if the season ended without the playoff.
Oh, this would be
like
hilarious.
If this was like English Premier League, where you don't want to go to a playoff, you're just trying to get points on the table and win the league.
Yeah.
This would be so fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is not how it works, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So since it doesn't, the Big 12 to me would be...
We have championships in America, which is stupid. Why do we do that? Now, don't yell at me. I know there's the bigger championship out, the European Cup, but like, whatever.
No, but look, winning the Premier League is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome. Yeah.
They're thrilled. But I do think, I'm going to ask, like, I'm going to have...
There be no championship game for that is weird, though.
I need to get Jack on, and we'll have to go through which conference would have the best, if this was European soccer, would have the most exciting table of a conference season. I think that's a kind of a cool comparison. I mean, it's probably the SEC, but maybe not. Maybe it is the Big 12 because everything's even, and yeah, he's shrugging at that.
Well, there's that. The problem with the Premier League is that there's like 3 teams that could probably actually win it, and then occasionally you have a Leicester City.
So that's like the SEC.
Yeah, occasionally you have the Leicester City.
Yeah,
but
pretty much never.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's what. It's like it pretty much never. Yeah. You have like 3 teams that have $1 billion.
Yeah,
and then that shouldn't have happened. But the idea of that league that you just don't have a champion, you're just waiting on the last day to see what happens with the final match.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they draw, we win, and they're just like,
oh, look. There was a time in my life where I thought that was dumb.
Yeah.
But knowing that like everything that happens around you, in spite of what you do, can affect you.
Yeah.
Adds so much drama to it, and that happens in like look it happened to just yesterday. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Yeah. The Arizona Diamondbacks are sitting around going like, I hope one team I
hope both teams lose.
Go Mets or Braves. And then like afterwards it's like, hey Mets, can you go ahead and win this one? And the Mets are like, no, Francisco Lindor's like 8 beers deep now.
We're a little tired.
So No, and we're going to start a guy who has one other start this year.
Yeah,
so.
we don't really feel like it in Arizona. What the hell, dude?
Like, here's the thing. If we have Atlanta, there's a better chance that we stay in our own time zone.
Yeah.
So that's great.
We want to travel
We know
over there.
them. We don't,
Arizona, you have your own time zone. I don't like it.
Yeah. Shouldn't have had Corbin Carroll hitting 190 before the break.
Yeah.
Like those
Should have thought about those things.
But, all right, so let's get into the Big 12. Utah can't win and put anything together reasonably without Cam Rising. We've seen that now over 2 seasons.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know how good Isaac Wilson's going to be in the long term, but clearly,
He'll be fine, but he's young.
But yeah. So, but right now, look, Utah was the favorite. BYU, who even their own people, surrogates, were like, you'd say, how do you think they're going to be? And they're like, I mean, I just,
Are we going to fire Kalani Sitake?
I don't think they thought that because he's just beloved.
Yeah.
But it's like, are we going to have to, is Kalani going to have to make a shift in styles and all these things that they've been doing? And the answer to that so far with a 5-0 BYU team is no. Now, do I think this is the team that, long term is going to keep up this kind of pace? Probably not. But, they're 17th in the country right now. They're rolling along, and they just seem to do everything right. They play Arizona. They're up off this week. Then they have Arizona. Should be really interesting. Oklahoma State at home, and that team looks like the wheels are about to fall off. UCF on the road. Utah on the road for the Holy War. So Kansas, who wheels are off at Kansas. Arizona State might be interesting. And then Houston, that didn't have wheels to start the season.
Yeah,
so
they're building the car.
Yeah, exactly. They're excited when they're like, hey, we found a chassis.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's it. So could they wind up in the Big 12 championship game?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But, Colorado gets absolutely embarrassed, humiliated, emasculated, like whatever you want to say, against Nebraska. And then since then has been kind of a complete, even in the first half against Baylor, most of the game against Baylor didn't look that great either. And then now all of a sudden, the last 10 minutes they played against Baylor and every second they played, save for a couple against UCF, have been dominant.
Yep.
So what is going on in this league, Royden? Tell me what is going on.
Well, it's what everybody thought. It's what the Big 12 even branded itself as. In the foresight of the conference PR people, good on you, because they knew that it was going to be the most competitive conference in America, the most competitive conference in college football. Anybody has a chance to win. What they didn't think about with that, and now I'm not saying there should be some overlord of the Big 12 conference that constantly has its foot on the plebs of the rest of the conference and doesn't allow for people to rise or fall. The problem with that is that now it's just more Big 12 than it's ever been, where everyone is killing each other.
They've made football exactly like basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've done their job in that respect, and good on the commissioner and everyone else. I'm sure that's not necessarily what they wanted to happen, but it's what they have branded as much as saying, and it worked. So what they are is the quote-unquote most competitive conference within themselves. Are they competitive outside of their conference? I'm not sure. But the idea that we're all just going to beat up on each other and there's going to be this mass amount of parity is something that has come to fruition. And why is the Big 12? Why is that happening? Is because you took a lot of semi-competitive teams. Utah won the Pac-12 a couple of times, but so they're probably the biggest get. But semi-competitive teams in the Pac-12, really competitive team in BYU, and you throw them in with a bunch of other teams that were in various stages of competitiveness in the Big 12 without, again, an overlord, and they have all now since descended upon each other and transgressed against one another. And I think that the who, what, when, where, how, why, and how is all the same thing. I think that's just a bunch of the competitive balance is top to bottom. Sans Houston, who's trying to find their way. But Is this what they wanted to happen? And we were even going to have a discussion on the Big 12 show that we're now producing at KWCX is like, is this what they wanted to happen? I don't know, because now you're looking at like you have the automatic conference bid into the tournament, but the idea that they would put in a 2-loss Big 12 team, say they put in a 2-loss, would a 2-loss Georgia automatically gets in over like a 2-loss Iowa State? It just is what it is. And maybe they have the branding behind that and the years of success that back that. But you're now looking at, well, did they really go through the gauntlet, or did they all beat themselves up? And maybe Big 12 fans would argue that everybody beating themselves up, this is the most competitive conference. But, like, Georgia circumnavigated the gauntlet of the SEC to only get 2 wins. You know, it's like the flirting versus harassment meme. Mm-hmm. It's like flirting, Georgia, 2 wins. Harassment, Kansas State, 2 wins. Or 2 losses is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, ew, get away.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I'm coughing.
Well, there's a cough button right there. See? Look at that. See, so now you can just see him cough and not hear him cough.
Sure, everybody loves it. I just coughed right into that mic.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the cough button. You can just...
I had to call high school football the other night, and I was coming off of being sick, and I hadn't coughed all day. I started talking for an hour, and I was just like, I'm gonna throw up and die.
So I'm going to tell you this. Here's a little trade secret that I learned from a couple different play-by-play guys. There's a tea you can buy that helps out with that when you're having these problems. And I'm going to tell you the name, and you have to get past the name and probably find it on your own without asking somebody at the grocery store where it is.
Oh, okay. So
or order it online.
Hardware thing.
It's called Throat Coat. Yeah. So not the best name.
Okay. All right.
It's actually quite good tea. I mean,
okay,
you know, it's good. A nice little hot tea. Get your throat coat. It'll make you feel better. But again, if you walk into a grocery store and say, I'm looking for throat coat, you'll be like, sir, you take your filthy mouth outside. You're like, no. No, it's tea. Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah.
I bet it is, pervert.
Yeah.
You get out of here or I put you on a list.
Yeah, you can find throat coat on Backpages.
Well, and the thing is, if you Google throat coat, you're either going to get the tea or something you didn't want to see.
Right, exactly. It's like the glasses thing that you subscribe to as well.
Peepers,
yeah.
Peepers.
You can get, okay, you know what? No.
These right here, Peepers.
Throat coat.
Throat coat.
Yeah, throat coat with a little honey.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
it'll
fix you right up.
Fix you right up? Yeah. So you can either get it at the store or in a back alley. So depending on what you want.
Why were you late for work? Well, look.
Either in the CVS or behind it. One of those two
throat
things.
Coat is the tea for you.
So there you go. We've got Brett McMurphy this afternoon.